What's up, Spitwads? Are you ready to optimize that nutrition this year? Jason's been on the health kick. I've been following along. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating, well, easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. In fact, my Factor meals, I got them and my son stole most of them, and I was like, can you maybe ask me first before you take all of my meals? Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with their Factor Keto meals, and that is based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto, and results will vary depending on diet and exercise. But you can reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that you can't beat. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/ballers50off and use the code ballers50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's the code ballersoff at factormeals.com/ballers50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
What happens when three buffoons give life advice, explore unrealistic situations, and give random topics more thought than they probably deserve? It's the Spitballers Podcast with Andy, Mike, and Jason.
Hey-oh! What? There it is.
Oh,
There it is.
I got the layup today, boys.
There it was.
you were a real donkey there.
It's the last scat.
Oh, is that? Well, that's great news.
I think he just killed it.
I felt like I got the layup because today on the show, our draft is the most annoying sounds.
Oh.
So I feel like I had a quick pathway to
How dare you say that about our mule friends?
our mule friends. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what sound I was going to make. Apparently, I went to
At least you went for it. The sound effect was full go.
yeah. We're drafting the most annoying sounds. I wanted to set the table, and I think I did.
I'm seeing that Al is updating us that he had a donkey take a dump in his front yard last night.
No, you didn't.
Of course he
did.
did. He lives in.
There's wild donkeys out there.
They
So
take huge dumps too.
What, did you watch it? Like you saw it happen
No,
live, or you
I got
found
up
the
to
dump?
go to my car this morning and found a big pile.
That
so
was me.
Oh yeah.
That was me.
Impressive.
He's been in bulk season.
I haven't gone in a while, and I came by your house and thought I'd leave you a little treat.
It's like he's going to think this is a donkey.
That's just crazy.
But
like
what
for
I-
people listening, they're like, "Where does Owl live?"
Right.
Where you can just wake up and it's like, "That's a donkey dump right in my front yard."
He lives in a neighborhood. That's the shocking thing.
I can drive to my house from here faster than you can get to yours.
yeah.
Oh
that's
my
true.
gosh.
But
this
you
is-
want to know what I don't have on my front yard? Donkey dumps. So,
I'm just saying, I'm not out in the boonies anywhere.
Right.
It's the boonies, but there's a freeway that's a direct shot there because that freeway needs to connect us to our friends to the north
Yeah.
of Arizona. And then you guys were like, what if we're like right in the middle of the desert? You're
Fun
like,
fact, Al also ran over 10 families of javelina once.
That's true. That's true because he lives in a
middle of the
the middle
desert.
of the desert. You know, look, everybody listening, you've been on a road trip before. You've gone between major cities where there's nothing for hours. And then every now and then there's an outlet mall. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you just there's all these shops that are supposed to be way cheaper. People could drive hours. So once upon a time where Al lives, there was an outlet mall there, and then they decided to put some houses by it.
But they did not move out the donkeys.
No, they kept
You have to herd the donkeys out before you build a neighborhood.
Oh man, I love making fun of where Al
It's like
lives.
an infestation.
See, aren't you happy that I
Yes,
I
now
opened
I'm
the
thrilled
show
about
with
the
that
donkey
hee-haw?
start.
Would you rather? Is this real life? And we're drafting the most annoying sounds on today's episode of the Spitballers. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for following the show, leaving your reviews. Some easy ways you can help support this independent podcast. We appreciate you. Let's kick it off.
Would you rather?
All right, we have a would you rather question coming in from our Patreon page. That darling kid says, when driving, would you rather have no ability to know the current time or no ability to know your current speed?
Oh,
And there's no loopholes, no
Yeah.
autopilot. So you can't know your speed, or you cannot know the time.
Okay, so obviously both are important when you're traveling to a destination. I mean, sometimes time doesn't matter because you're just going to the grocery store or whatever. It doesn't matter what time you get there. But a lot of times you're going to work, got to be there by 8. You're going to, the school play, got to be there by 6:45 or whatever. So that's important. And obviously speed limit is important. You don't want to get pulled over. You don't want to be driving poorly.
Let me start the question, Mike, with how in tune at this point in time are you with your speed on the road? Like if you had to guess it at all times, do you feel like you'd be within a few miles?
I think I could be within 5.
I feel like I could too.
I would be shocked if any of us who have driven for half of our lives would not be within 5 on any of our guesses at any time.
Yeah, so we're pretty, not knowing your speed, if it comes down to 5 mile an hour difference in either direction, is irrelevant.
No, because if you're going 50 in a 45 and you're like, no, I'm going a certain. How would it be over?
It wouldn't bother me
So
at all.
what you're
I'm
saying
just
is,
worried,
if you think you're going 46 in a 40 and you're off by 5 and you're
right,
actually
if you're
going
going
51,
51.
boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, that's a problem. You'll get pulled over.
But that means you're off by more than 5
No,
because
that
you were
would-
trying to go 40.
No, he was trying to go 46 in a 40. So he was off by
Exactly.
5. He was 51.
I didn't think I was.
Why
going
were you
for it.
trying to go 46 in a 40? That's your problem to begin with.
What are you talking? What are you
That's-
driving a 40?
If I didn't know the
No,
speed,
what do you
if
what
I
do you
didn't-
drive right now?
No. Let me just answer the
okay.
question. If I didn't know because I couldn't read it, I would always try to go the exact speed limit. That's
Okay,
what my point was.
that
So
makes
then,
sense.
Then at worst, I'm off 5 in either direction. I cannot get a ticket.
I have taught my children that going the exact speed limit is a danger because it is dangerous. All the cars around you are driving faster than you and needing to overtake you. So
I would feel safe to speed up then if I had a bunch of cars going faster.
yeah, I
than
mean,
me.
I guess
Yeah, it's
really
more about
you're
being
usually going
totally
the flow.
alone.
By the
around
way,
the
I
road.
did confirm with your family that your little scenario with your son learning to drive was as traumatizing as you described on this on this podcast.
Yeah.
Has he driven since then?
He is driven, but I have to
Okay.
make him drive now. He doesn't, and every time it's like
All because you couldn't control your bowels.
Yeah, I would say mostly because I couldn't control my bowels. There
you
was
got
a there was
progressively more desperate as the drive went along, and then it became more intense for him.
At least 10% is my decision to have him drive when I knew this could be a situation where I got to speed up. That part was on me.
Yeah.
The others were on my bowels. But yeah, I mean, and then I do check the clock a lot because we're a family of 5 with a lot of obligations, so it is common and frequent that we are running late.
I guess what
Yeah, but that's not the clock's fault.
Here's what's funny about the clock part of the question. You cannot really do anything about it.
I don't know if I see that it looks like I'm, it's
like a marginal.
I'm 10 minutes away and I'm going to be 2 minutes late.
So,
Okay,
yesterday,
That gas pedal gets a little heavy.
Yesterday I
amounts.
was 20 miles away from someplace, and my ETA said I would be there 3 minutes late. I tried my best to get there on time. I got there 2 minutes late.
Oh, you didn't try your best then.
No, because when you actually break down the truth about going that fast and how much time you're actually making up, it's fractions.
It's not a lot.
You guys don't go fast enough.
No.
man. I'm telling you,
You're
I shave off 5 minutes of every
On
ETA I've
not
ever
on
driven in my
surface
life.
streets. You're dependent on other
No,
cars.
not
in the way.
on surface
Just
streets. Surface
freeway
streets, you're
driving,
not-
I agree, you can improve your time
Yeah, you can.
and lower your odds of survival.
But
Yep.
yeah, it'd be the amount of that you are the amount of trouble and peril that you are bringing into the world versus saving 5 minutes. Leave 5 minutes earlier.
Well, that is, yeah, I do like being early. Like you guys are you early people? Are you late people?
We're usually 10 minutes early people.
I am
You with your family is not an early person.
I am an on-time early person.
No.
You guys should, having worked with me for long enough, I am an on-time person. My family, not so much.
So then are you in panic?
It's
Is
Yes.
it painful? It must be excruciating.
No, it is the worst.
I can relate a lot because I do not like being late to places. It is the worst. It's an indictment on you.
Yes.
That it didn't matter enough or whatever. And it's like usually it goes something like this, like finish your hair already, like in the house, like just it's. I think.
I've
I've
had too many of those. Now I just sit quiet and be like, and I go, we really need to go.
What I
we really need to go, and then you put the GPS in, and you're like, and we're 15 minutes late.
my usual family, if the girl side of my family is involved, we are going to put that GPS in, and we are going to be 10 minutes late, and we will arrive 5 minutes early. My man, let's
But
go.
You're not making up 15 minutes.
That's a slight exaggeration, but
That's a massive exaggeration.
it's not as massive as you believe.
Yes, 15. You can't make up 15 minutes.
Oh man.
How many miles away would you have to?
Most
I mean, that has
of-
to be like a 50-mile trip.
Most of our trips are like, 30 minutes to an hour. Like I don't go anywhere nearby with the kids. Everything
We
is
need to
far
get
enough
Jason
to
on
shave
the-
time
A
off.
30-minute time, he's going to make up half of it.
Well, no, that's what I said. That's exaggerated.
Even an hour trip, you're not making up 15.
Well,
Oh, yes,
no,
I
you
am.
are. No, you're
on
not.
the freeway,
You're
you
not.
go like 75, so he's going 150 to make up half the time.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
there
The math
is-
checks out.
I will
There
take
are rules of physics.
I will
that
take
say
not
no.
knowing my speed, because if there is variability anyways, where the speed of traffic matters more than the number exactly, and my experience in driving, I feel like I'm going to get where I need to go, how fast I need to go all the time, and I'd like to know the time.
I really like shaving numbers off, so I enjoy the time. I look at the time a lot more than the speed limit. So
Clearly.
I'm going to know my speed. Because like for time, it's when you get in the car, I'm going to check. Now I'm obsessing over it. But as long as you either leave on time and you get there on time, or you leave on time and you end up late. And you're
Yeah,
like,
I mean-
no, I left 15 minutes earlier than I was supposed to.
you do know what time it is when you get in the car. The clock is really. I mean, all of us should be taking. We should know the speed limit and not take the time.
That's why I did.
Can I
you guys
can I
were
go
weird.
to a follow-up question
Sure.
around lateness?
Yeah, we will allow it.
Here's the thing. I always want to be early. My family gets annoyed sometimes because, I don't know, we get there 5 minutes early, and that's annoying for them to wait the 5 minutes for something to start.
Oh my god.
I don't understand why. But that's the way it works. But I don't feel like anybody doesn't hold somebody accountable for being late, no matter what the circumstance. Like if you leave early and you run into bad traffic, you might get there on time. If you leave at the exact time you need to leave and you run into traffic, you're late. And when you show up late, I feel like 100% of people are like, it's your fault. Even if it wasn't your fault, even if an accident happens and it truly, really wasn't your fault, I feel
You
like
should have left earlier.
we all hold everyone accountable for being late. Is that wrong?
I think that it is wrong that everyone does do that. It is not wrong that it feels like everyone does. And I think maybe that's inside ourselves.
It really is, because you're like, how dare you do this to me?
Yesterday-
How dare you be 5 minutes late for my time?
I bring it up because yesterday my son started another sports program, and all the kids were there, and the coach was 5 minutes late to show up.
Oh, you can't be.
Now the
you
coach-
can't be. The coach can't be
The
late.
coach lives over an hour away. There's
Uh,
construction on the freeway. They
okay.
make it within 5 minutes. Every parent was furious for 5 minutes.
Yeah, because you're paying money
Yeah, did
Yeah,
he,
to
that's
be in
right.
this thing.
Did he
that,
go
like,
5 over?
That I don't know.
Oh. So that's everything.
We got to track the coaches.
Like
Got it.
If you show up 5 minutes late and you're like, I'm so sorry, okay. Give me my 5 minutes on the back end and everything's fine.
Oh,
if you're in charge, it makes a big difference. If you're an employee and you show up 5 minutes late, that is not good. That is
if you're
bad.
the pastor at a wedding,
But if
and
you're
you're there,
yeah, but if you're the manager who has to unlock the building for all the other
Yeah.
employees who got there,
yeah,
and you show up late, that's straight bush league.
all the apologies don't seem to matter.
No, they don't matter.
No. This is a good follow-up question. Perfectly in sync. Jackson from the website, would you rather take a non-lethal bite by an alligator or a shark?
Okay. Who's got
Feels easy.
more teeth?
What's your default quick reaction?
My quick reaction
Alligator.
is definitely the alligator.
Alligator.
That alligator is my quick response.
Because size of alligators versus size of sharks. I mean, I guess I'm seeing a great white.
I'm
here.
going great white shark. Because
That's what everyone
okay,
sees.
Okay, other sharks.
But it's non-lethal.
Other sharks. Let's hold on. Other shark. Stop it. Stop it.
What about the tiger shark?
No.
Yeah, that's not a shark.
There is
They
great.
kill people all the time.
Yeah.
There's the great.
Not like a great white.
It's a real big fish.
If
Get
I
out of here.
had-
There's one shark. I don't care how connected they are in their animal kingdoms. And
We
species.
should have another
There's one-
name.
there's one shark.
There
Do you
is
just
one
call it-
shark.
Do you just call it a shark?
Yes, a shark. A great white shark is
Yes.
the shark.
Because if we're in the water and I go, oh, dude, there's a shark.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
You're not like, oh, that's a good brown shark.
I could be like, because there's tiny little sharks.
Oh, yeah.
that do nothing. But it's a trick. It's a trap. When you say, oh, there's a shark over there, yes, you should react swiftly and get out of there because there's only one shark.
When I, by default, think of a bite from both of those animals, the bite from the shark is like the bite of a sandwich. The meat,
Yes,
it's
it's
all
coming out.
It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
gone. He's swallowing some of my body.
I will say this. My vote would change to getting the shark bite because it's non-lethal, okay? So let's just say this. Here's how the bite works. The mouth comes and it closes on your body. You get to even pick the spot, whatever, leg, belly, chest, you know, you can pick it. It clamps down and then releases.
Yes.
So it does not clamp all the way down. It doesn't take the chunk out because pretty much that's how you're going to die. This is non-lethal. So the teeth go in
And then come
leave.
out?
That's when you got to pick shark because the cool leftover, like,
Oh, if you had to show a
if
scar.
you had to show the pattern of a shark bite looks
It's a
like,
cool pattern.
That's the
It's
sandwich
a cool
bite.
pattern.
You know, you got like, look at this chunk. And
I
then
might
it's like
get a
the alligator's like, what is that? Because
Yeah.
it's a long, narrow.
Like I could get a
shape
shark. I
different.
should get a tattoo that looks like I've been bit by a shark.
Oh, I'll bet someone's done that.
I bet you're right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. The shape of the scar, because you've survived it. The alligator, though, when you think about getting bit by an alligator, you know you're getting spun into
But
oblivion.
I'm not counting.
So I think I'm getting a broken bone.
because
I'm getting a dislocated shoulder.
the alligator's bite is stronger.
It's
Right?
gonna-
like the PSI or however
I doubt it.
I doubt
I
it.
doubt it.
I'm going gator on that one.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
If
on
the
it.
gator's bite was as
versus
strong
the
as a
shark?
shark bite, it would take the arm off.
Who has more?
Well,
It would take all the meat out. Like if a gator bit my thigh and a shark bit my thigh, wouldn't the higher PSI take the chunk
now,
of meat?
is it really PSI before I ask this question?
I'm pretty sure
It is, yes.
Okay. All right.
'Cause
Pounds per
you're-
square
you're-
inch.
You're measuring pressure. No, I think it's the gator, and it's
It's the alligator.
Oh,
What?
yeah. See,
Now, did you say shark or did you say great white? Because that's the conversation.
well, there's only one shark.
Yeah, but I don't know if Jeremy's on
Jeremy,
board with
did you know
this.
there's only one shark?
I did know that, but I
A
did
great
not
white has a
specify.
stronger
Oh.
bite. Yeah, exactly. A great white has a stronger bite than an alligator in terms
Oh,
of
no.
PSI. Now, if you just say a shark, sure, there's little ones that can nibble on you and you laugh and you take them off and you throw them back in the water.
Is there any way that you would know, like, you'd have the wisdom if someone's like, you're getting bit by by an alligator or a crocodile, which one do you want? Is there any way that we would know
No.
which one we'd want?
Impossible.
No, one of them's
Impossible.
got a pointy nose.
But they both.
So here's how this is how I genuinely think what the difference is. I don't think I ever heard this.
I can't wait for this.
I don't know that this is real, but
Just over the course of
Just
your
over
life,
the course of my
you have
life.
pieced things together and
in the
created
back
your
of my
own-
mind,
your own history.
something tells me that one of those two, and I'm not sure which one, the jaw opens just upward,
Yeah.
and then the other one,
Both?
both jaws open,
Oh.
like the bottom and the top move apart.
Oh, I
I've ne-
see what you're
I've
saying.
ne- one
so
of them-
you think one of them is just like that?
Yeah,
And the other
exactly.
one is like,
Yes, exactly.
I've never thought of that in my life.
Yeah,
That can't be true.
it's probably not.
That
I don't.
cannot
Like
be
I said,
true.
I don't.
But you
think
don't know
that-
which is which.
No, of course not. I mean, I would say the stupider one is
So one opens almost like a bear trap or something like that.
yeah.
It doesn't.
like the bottom lid just stays there.
The bottom row of
Teeth.
row of the teeth,
Yeah.
whatever mandible or whatever it is.
That's
that
the one I'd
stays
want to be
there.
bit by
For sure.
because I wouldn't get the double crunch.
Jeremy, why don't you look that up? Verify.
I
my-
think I know what he's going to find, but we can give it a go.
Oh, I can't. If this is right, if somehow this is right, I'm gonna be so happy.
I don't know how you search for, does an alligator or a crocodile have an immovable lower jaw?
So usually I go, I'm on it. I didn't say I'm on it because I didn't know how to search for
You
that.
just
Like,
searched up differences between alligator and crocodile.
Yeah, but I want
if that is
Number
a difference,
one.
that would be the number one difference.
That's fair. I don't know. Like, I know there's saltwater crocodiles. I don't think there's saltwater alligators. That's one thing I know.
Yeah, alligators are just.
Is a crocodile more like awesome than a alligator?
The saltwater
think
crocodiles
so.
are humongous.
I think
I know
the-
that.
those
I know
things
that.
crocodiles are scarier.
Also,
because
imagine
they're
being in
bigger.
the ocean. Yes, if you saw a shark, you'd be freaked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, it's a shark in
Yeah,
the ocean.
This is where you live.
If you see a crocodile
No, that's
coming at you in the waves,
In the ocean. We're not talking on the beach. We're
is that
talking
a
in
surfboard?
The ocean.
No!
That
Yeah.
would be so much worse.
Also, if you have never looked up a saltwater, an ocean-dwelling crocodile,
Uh-huh.
they are dinosaurs.
Yes.
They're humongous. They are not like the rest of their species.
Gators, I think, are smaller.
They're the megalodon of, but they exist now.
It's like, that was my great
Gosh, they're
granddad.
huge. They're so big.
Are they really that big?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't look great.
Are they bigger than a shark?
No.
Not a real shark.
No, if you
Well, yeah.
if you fought them in a great arena, I think the shark's winning.
Well, if there's water.
Yes. By the way, it doesn't seem like crocodiles and alligators have immovable lower jaws.
Uh-huh.
It does say that
That's too
alligators
bad.
have a
Alligators-
larger upper jaw than the lower jaw. So the alligators have an overbite.
Okay.
Crocodile
okay.
teeth interlock.
Maybe that's what I was
That,
thinking.
I could see that.
One is going over the teeth,
Yeah, the alligator.
and one is interlocking. Okay.
I just
Well,
wanna
then
know
you
which-
definitely want the one going over.
Was there one courageous crocodile that at one point in time was like, that water over there with the salt in it, I'm going to go get in that water.
And then it just
at
grew
some point.
larger.
And then the salt filled it and it grew and became a
And then-
dinosaur.
And then the alligators were just like big babies. Like, I need gentle, soft
Yeah,
water.
I've got an overbite.
Isn't the salt water the softer water?
No, not ocean.
Really?
It's too abrasive. It's not like a home soft water
Oh,
system.
okay. That's kind of what I was
It's
thinking.
too abrasive.
But
in the,
now
in
I
the
remember
ocean.
having both both areas of private areas hurt by ocean water, so it's much rougher in the
both
ocean.
areas of private areas is how I would describe it.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever told that story.
Oh,
but
no. Did you have.
Chafing issues?
I had have I never told this story on the
I mean,
Spitballers?
I don't
Papa
know.
Josh
If you
lost,
have, it's
lost
worth
a
hearing
nipple in
again.
the
Yeah.
ocean.
Now, were you Al, was this on a trip with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know this experience. This was brutal. One of the worst experiences of my life.
Sounds like it.
So I went to the ocean on a San Diego trip with Al Borland's
Delightful.
family. Wonderful. We go out in the ocean. We're having a good time. I got new swim trunks, and those swim trunks had an inner lining,
Yeah.
So the built-in underpants.
the built-in underpants, and
Uh-oh.
so that's what
And
I
we're
wore.
Old school meshy or new school
Steel
I
wool?
think,
spandex?
I think it's new school cheese grater. So what ended up happening was horrific and unspeakable on this podcast.
Bloody.
But the walk,
Oh,
the walk back, because we were staying, you're staying on the beach in like an
Uh-huh.
Airbnb that's on the beach, except it's not on the beach. It's a block from the beach, and there's a big walk up the beach. Once I reached the point of no return in one of my private areas,
Okay.
the walk back was the most brutal, uncomfortable, bent-over thing that I just had to do for 2,000 feet.
Oh, no.
And when I got to the Airbnb, the amount of
Oh, no.
Crying?
the amount of orders we had from the local Walgreens for
Vaseline.
yes and
Yeah.
bandages, it was a trip ruiner. So yeah, no. In
So you're out on that.
in hindsight, I think the ocean waters are much harsher than the
Oh,
soft,
man.
I mean,
comfy.
at least you came out like no infections, right?
That is true. That is true. And now I'm all calloused up. so-
Exfoliated. Exfoliated. Okay. I think probably time for a breakout.
Sounds good.
What's going on, Spitwads? I want to take a minute and talk about New Year's resolutions. Those can be very hard to keep, but what if they were set to automatic? And that's why I want to talk about today's episode sponsor, Acorns. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing so your money has a chance to grow for you, your kids, and your retirement. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals. And guess what? You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money that you've got right now. You can start with $5 or even some spare change. You don't even need a lot of time. And look, I've used the Acorns app. It is easy to use. It's simple. It's automated. So you can head to acorns.com/ballers or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/ballers.
Is this real life?
Well, this is the part of the show where we share real news stories.
Okay, here's real news from the last segment. Saltwater crocodiles are the largest living reptiles and could grow to 23 feet long.
That is gigantic.
I mean, 23 feet long. Think about how tall a basketball hoop is.
That's a monster.
And then put another basketball hoop on top of it, and it's still not tall enough.
And then it swims?
If there was a secondary question, because this one was like if you wanted to get bit by either one, but it's non-lethal, so you survive it, you make that choice. If you told me which one do you want to go and like guarantee your demise, I just want the quickest. Like you'd want the shark, right?
I don't
know. Like if you know this is what will be the end.
No, I know what you're saying.
I guess the alligator might drown you.
The alligator's
I think
top speed is 18 miles per hour in the water.
Oh,
alligator or crocodile?
The saltwater croc that we're talking about, this
That's
monster.
scary.
But a great white's got to go faster than that.
Sure, but a human's top speed, the highest speed ever reached by a swimmer, was 5 miles per hour.
That's our
Michael Phelps.
limit?
Yeah,
Michael Phelps was like
5. Those people in the pool are only going 5 miles an hour.
David Holmes, Edgar. Yeah, I mean, this is why it's like
true.
I mean, I think it is. Dave,
Great white's 35 miles an hour.
I'm just saying we're not surviving.
Yeah, because we're not supposed to be there.
That's true.
We're not supposed to be in there.
Problem is you get to land, that crocodile's chasing you down too. There's no way that croc can't catch you on land.
Correct.
So can I outwalk an Olympic swimmer? Like if they're swimming and I'm power walking.
Yeah, if you
but like
the hip shake
and I'm just
and
right
everything.
next to him, and we're like he's at the side of the pool.
I would think
and I'm
so.
just walking. I am not jogging. Can I beat him?
I think so.
I feel like it'd be embarrassing to get run down on land by a crocodile, and yet every crocodile runs faster than a human. Every one of them.
There would be an amount of shame with it.
You'd be like, because it looks like you should be able to get away.
Little stubby legs.
Stupid
I
legs.
feel like zigzags have to work on a croc.
I believe that is completely old wives' tale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about climbing a tree?
That would work. Crocs cannot climb a tree. No.
Can they stand up on their tail?
Yeah.
They can
well,
do-
not on the tail. They can climb
You
up
said
a little.
yeah,
well,
I'm so quickly.
I was saying
as
they
a
can
pogo stick.
climb up the part of it. They're just not getting off the ground.
All right, we are
I mean,
into
they jump out of the water
yeah.
using that tail.
We are into Is This Real Life, where we share real life stories that just don't seem like they should be real.
What?
Are you watching a croc jump now?
Crocodiles can climb trees.
I was just about to post that.
Wait, what?
high into the tree canopy. They're climbing full trees.
How are they climbing trees?
It
They
makes
got
no
those stumpy
sense.
little legs.
I thought you said there were rules to physics, Mike.
There are.
There are not. Crocodiles can climb into trees.
Crocodiles are monsters. We did say
I'm
that.
staring at a crocodile climbing a chain link fence.
Oh my gosh.
Why can they climb?
These are monsters. Monsters have superpowers.
Wow. Well, they do come from the Cretaceous?
What in the world?
I believe Hades.
Have you
is where they
seen?
come from.
This is the crocodile episode. Have you seen what they do when they know that a lake or a river that they're in is going to freeze? Have you seen this?
I have no idea.
There's been some places, Florida recently, where things have gotten really cold. There's been snow, so there's been some lagoons and areas where the water freezes, and you would imagine all the crocodiles are going to die if they're under the water, right? Because they breathe air.
They're probably going to some hibernation.
They go and they poke just the ends of their noses up above the water, and it freezes around the end of their nostrils. So you look at the frozen lake, and there's just the nostrils of crocodiles all over it, and their heart rate slows to 4 beats a minute.
Can you imagine that nap?
That is a nap.
That's the best nap that anyone has ever experienced in their life.
There's got to be a limit to how long they can stay.
Not if your heart's down at 4 BPH.
Yes, 4 beats a minute. It's like hibernation.
Or BPM. Beats per hour.
PSI.
Dude, you
4 beats per hour.
Yeah. Dude, you'd be elite.
Yeah, every 15 minutes, boom.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crocodiles are wild. I think I want one.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you don't mess with that.
Okay.
You don't need it. Speaking of Florida, I'll go first because mine's pretty short and sweet.
Alligators can climb trees.
A Florida woman was arrested because she got pulled over, and the police noticed her bag, her purse of some kind
In the car?
in the car. Yeah. That's
Probable cause.
and you know, like they put things, like some phrases sometimes on a purse. Well, this thing said, "Definitely not a bag full of drugs."
On the purse?
Yeah, that's what it said on
Like
the bag.
and
I you can never guess what's inside of this bag, guys.
Oh, man.
I'll give you a guess.
Was it drugs?
It was in fact drugs.
Oh, my gosh.
So
Was this like an Etsy purse? Somebody
I don't know, but this person thought, well, I'll be real clever. Even if they pull me over, there's no way they're going to look in this bag that says, "Definitely not a bag full of drugs."
That's a little crafty.
It's crafty, but
it didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Not only did it not work, you couldn't possibly expect it to work. Like, if you're you can get that bag if you're not putting drugs in it. Then it's funny. You get pulled over, and they're like, "Let me see that bag." And they open it up, and it's like,
gum.
"I try to tell you, it's definitely not a bag full of drugs."
So don't write down on a murder weapon.
But if you
definitely not the murder weapon.
Not the don't test this weapon for blood. It's like that. That's insane. That is a stupid person.
Yeah.
I got another stupid person.
Okay.
And it has to deal also with animals not quite as great as crocodiles, but a superior animal, a bear.
I don't know, man. Pretty Team Croc right now.
This article is, they told insurers a bear damaged their car, but it was actually a person in a bear costume.
Oh, they did it. They did it.
Not only did they do it, they've done it several times.
They went insurance fraud, but
they did insurance fraud. It was a group of 4 people who have been charged. The alleged scam cost 3 insurance companies a total of $141,000. This is dude, you have no idea how right you are.
Was it when the crowbar was in the hands of the bear?
Here's what is so funny about it. The way that this whole situation came up, it was clear insurance fraud to try to make 6 figures worth of money.
Right.
This was a Rolls-Royce, an old car, but they had done it to several other cars, which is what flagged them. They did a Mercedes G63.
What's going on with the Bears?
A Mercedes
They
E350.
only hit the high-end cars.
And these people lived in an area where it was known for bears around there, and they had video evidence of the bear going in the car and scratching up, tearing up the inside of the car. The video evidence, my friends, has been released. And I want to read you a quote since the people cannot see this video while listening to this podcast. But this was a quote from the investigators, from the officials. Quote, "Upon further scrutiny of the video,
Enhance.
the investigation determined the bear was actually a person in a bear costume." I have watched the video. It looks like a person crawling around in a bear costume. And what's funny is when you first watch the video, right off the bat, you're like, "Oh my gosh, there's a bear in that car," because, you don't expect. But then when it crawls to the other seats, it crawls into the back seats. It's like clearly a person in a bear costume. And they sent this video to the police to prove definitively. And so the police investigated. They found multiple
my
car
gosh.
insurance frauds that were done. And
Did
then
they find the bear costume?
they found the bear
come on,
costume.
you got to get rid of that.
In the well, they were going to do it again and again and again.
Oh.
This was their job, was tearing up cars in a bear costume.
They actually found it in a bag that said, "This is definitely not a bear costume."
So
I got to go to Papa Josh real quick for a question because Josh worked in insurance for a very long time. Could these people have said, we had a bear attack and like you have the remains of the interior of the car, but not sent a video, just you're the claim like a bear did this? What?
Yeah.
Like, so they didn't even need to do the video.
it was going over and above that really got them in trouble.
Overthought it.
Yeah, I'm gonna share out that video for
Pretty
you guys.
sure a bear's about to ruin my car.
Don't take a video.
I have all insurance. I mean, like
There's a lot of different ways.
Our limbs are not this. They're
No.
not the same.
And you can tell when they were crawling because it looks
It
like
would
a
look nothing
person's
like a
limbs
bear.
and not like a
Well,
bear.
Did you know that this was actually a story in, I believe, mainland China at their zoos? Did you know this? That they actually had,
well, like people pretending to be.
yes, they had people dressed up in bear costumes pretending to be bears in an exhibit for on the
No.
first, yes.
I thought you were talking like people coming to the zoo dressed in a bear costume or something. You're telling me that they actually tried to fool the guests of the zoo by having people in bear costumes?
Headline: Chinese zoo denies their bear is a guy in a bear suit.
Yes.
Oh,
So yeah, it's I'm gonna send you the picture of that too.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And this was I saw this a while back. So there's a little tag team on the Is This Real Life?
I know that you can be in a giant rhino and get away with it. Ace Ventura taught me that.
Here's the story that I picked out for Is This Real Life? And this was a homegrown story. This happened in late December in Arizona. I saw it come across the wire here on our local AZ Central website. So this is, it's always nice when you see it yourself.
yeah, right.
Let me read the headline for you. Jason is aghast at this bear.
I can't. I'm sorry to distract. I'm looking at the picture of the bear from the Chinese zoo. It's a person. It's not even wearing a bear suit. It's wearing a bear mask. It's just a person. It's a dude.
Oh, it's got a little bit of an extension for
Oh
the head,
my gosh.
but
So-
otherwise,
Yep. Upon further video evidence, I have determined it is not a bear. It is a
Okay.
person in a bear suit.
I just love the idea of a zoo like going like, oh crap,
Yeah,
that bear died
the
and
bear-
it was the main attraction.
what do we do?
What do we do? All right, here's the story, guys. You're gonna enjoy this. Right,
Just standing up.
right in our
Just like a
backyard.
person.
Right in our backyard.
All right.
Knocking from Phoenix garbage truck leads to woman's rescue.
Oh.
A garbage truck driver found a woman stuck in the rear container of his waste management garbage truck early during his morning route in Phoenix. The woman, who was not seriously injured, was found at 4:45 a.m. when the truck was in the area of local area here. She was taken to the hospital. The garbage truck driver had heard loud knocking sounds coming from inside of the container after he made his last dump.
So now the first question I have, because it's the most terrifying question, I just assume all these garbage trucks are compressing.
It's like Star Wars.
Yeah. Just
I don't know. It says, quote, "It is unclear how the woman ended up in the garbage truck.
The woman did not want to share.
She didn't tell him." And then it says later,
I'm gonna guess she started in a garbage can.
that's where I believe
I'm
this.
in here. Don't worry about it. How'd you get there?
My favorite part of the story, though, was
unbelievable.
when the representative from Waste Management, the garbage truck company, decided to comment. They said, quote, "They were unaware of why or how the woman ended up in the dumpster, but that the company, quote, strongly discourages people from doing so."
Yeah.
So if you've been
but they
tempted-
don't forbid it.
Right, that's true,
They
Mike.
just discourage it.
They just strongly discourage it. If you're gonna do it, you can.
What's
but
going on
it's
in there?
Strongly
Is
discouraged.
there anything cool?
There's probably some copper pipes you could sell.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you do see
You do believe
people-
that you got to be in the waste basket or in the
Yeah.
In the can.
in the can and then get dumped in.
I mean, I see.
Hence the injuries.
I do post lunch walks around our building here
Yeah.
pretty often and walk by a handful of dumpsters. It is a very common occurrence to see a person in that dumpster.
You frequently and do you wave?
Pretty
or
much at least twice a week.
Do you try to ignore them, or do you just say, "Hey"?
I just walk on. I'm just walking. I don't.
These
know
are
them.
people looking for things.
These are people
Oh,
looking
okay.
for things. But I guess if you're in there at the time that the garbage truck pulls up,
If you want to earn yourself,
there's a problem.
Yeah, I'm just not understanding how that happens.
If you want to earn yourself $100, I want you to do one of your around the building walks in a bear suit one of these days. You can stand. I don't care.
Yeah,
you
walk
can,
on 2 feet.
You can walk on 2 feet.
Oh, all right.
It
If I
didn't
don't have to
stop
bear
this
crawl,
guy in the zoo.
you got to buy the suit. and I'm
Okay.
in.
All right. Well, I'll go find one. All right. We'll take a break. We'll get into the draft.
The Spitballers Draft.
All right. Today we are drafting the most annoying sounds in the world. And yeah, the scat, it is in contention. You can draft it. I have the number 1 pick. I'm going to go pretty vanilla here because it's a super annoying sound and it genuinely causes people physical discomfort.
Yeah.
I have to go nails on a chalkboard.
Why does it do that?
I don't know. I think it's because we associate it with the feeling
Yes.
as well of
Yeah.
the nails scratching it.
Chalks,
Okay.
Chalkboards have that really chalky,
It was the texture,
abrasive. It just it grosses me out a little bit right now.
It was the first thing I put on my list. And then as I created the rest of my list, it was the last thing on my list simply because I realized that doesn't exist anymore. Like for people our age, nails on a chalkboard was a thing because in classrooms there were chalkboards. There ain't been a chalkboard in a classroom
Nails
in a long,
on a
long
whiteboard
time.
is just a smooth glide.
They're
Yeah.
only manufacturing chalkboards for the nails now.
Right,
For
yes.
for the freaks
For
that really
torture?
like it.
But yeah, it's been a minute. I don't think any of them have chalkboards still, right? It's all whiteboards,
I think,
dry
no,
erase.
there's chalkboards. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, there's chalkboards, but they all get somebody rolls a white erase, a dry erase board in front of them nowadays.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you are on the
All
clock.
right.
Most annoying sounds.
So, nails on chalkboard very high, and I'm going to go with the sound, which it sucks to even when you bring it up because the people who create this sound love that you hate it. And it's these freaking turds with their car mufflers and just being the loudest, most obnoxious car that you can possibly be.
Great pick.
That's a good pick. I didn't think about that one.
And they all, I can only imagine the reason you do that is because you are trying to be annoying. So then when I admit that it's annoying, I am simply giving you more power.
No, they're trying to be cool. They are trying.
I don't think so.
For sure they are.
I don't know.
They're not trying to annoy other people. They're trying to be cool. They think in their world, in their bubble, that it's wow, this is an awesome car. It's so loud. It's so strong.
But I'm not even talking about the motor. There are
the muffler.
Yeah, I can agree that some people are
No,
my motor is the deepest and the loudest.
I'm just
so I
talking
have
about the insanely loud muffler. That
they find other people like them.
Yeah, I
Like
think
Jason
they're
said,
trying
there's
to
a
be
bubble of people that are like, whoa, man.
And
That's cool.
Here's a nice thing. You can make fun of them on this podcast
right.
because those people aren't listening to this podcast.
Okay. Well, if you are one of these people, we try to be uplifting, positive. But if you are one of those people, you're bad. You're a bad person.
Here's the uplifting part. You're able to become a good
Yeah,
person.
you don't have to be.
You could pull
It's
over
a
right
really
now
easy
to the
change.
side of the road,
There's something about
disconnect
it being
that muffler,
it's an
drive
additive.
on with a huge smile on your face knowing you're a good person.
The sound is so bad because you've added it on purpose. It's not like, you just didn't have the money to put on the thing that makes the
brake
bad
pads
sounds.
going
Yes.
bad, and it's
Yes.
like your brakes are out, and that's annoying, but it's
Yeah,
like,
Whoa, why are you taking all my picks over here, man?
All
you're
car
still
related.
out there. Yeah.
Jason, 2 picks for you.
All right.
Most annoying sound.
So mine is going to be the opposite of yours, right? Mike, you were saying
Silence?
A quiet car.
No, you were saying that you didn't like this in part because the people are wanting it.
Oh, okay, yes.
This one, I actually have empathy for. I feel bad for them because they very much don't want it. But it does not change the fact that a baby crying on a plane
Oh, yeah.
is unacceptable
Yeah.
because
baby's crying period is unacceptable.
well, but on a plane you're stuck. You're in a fuselage for 4 hours, and it's just like this is going to wreck the day when there is a baby crying on the. Nothing's more annoying than that.
The baby crying, and I just had it down as crying baby anywhere. You can have both empathy for that person and
Pure
hate
rage.
the sound.
Rage.
Or in your case, rage. Because it's just not something you can like have a conversation through. If you're at a restaurant and a baby's crying and I'm trying to talk to you about crocodiles or something, we can't have a serious crocodile discussion because the baby's crying.
That's horrible.
All right. So I know the next one I really, really want, but I don't think either of you are going to take it. It is the worst of the worst, but I'm gonna play the game and hope it comes back to me. So instead, I'm going to take something that I have heard. I will say I promise I've heard this more than you in your life. But by you, I mean everyone. Everyone listening, everyone in this room.
That's a bold proclamation.
A smoke detector beep.
It's on my list.
Because
you have heard it more than anyone.
Why more?
Well, I've gone
bigger houses?
I've gone years without changing it.
You are just
hold on,
years.
demented.
You let it just
Yes.
Is it this a ladder
Yes,
situation?
it's a ladder
Okay,
situation.
yeah, okay,
it's
a couple years
It's a
I get it.
laziness situation. There was one time where I was renting a house, and it was almost like the 2 years I was there. It's not my house, and so I don't want to change it. But it was 2 years.
You're willing to suffer because it's not yours.
Well, and in between it, you can still forget, and then every time it's like chirp, and you're like, oh, I forgot about it.
You don't have to replace it. You can just take the battery out.
I think I ended up just knocking it down eventually.
See, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I've had parts of my life where like this upstairs, if there's a
They
fire
are-
up here, we're in big trouble because there's about 5 of the smoke detectors that are just
Oh, no.
they're just detached.
If they're okay. I
Okay,
thought
yeah,
there
I
were
was gonna say,
multiples
if you-
beeping
No,
at the
no,
same time.
no, I'm saying
if you
like
take them down, they do not function.
I'm saying in the middle of the night, I'm not going down to get the battery.
Yeah.
I'm going to identify the problem. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
And now problem has been solved.
What?
I had a smoke detector. I don't know how this is possible. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it clearly is. I had a smoke detector in our master bedroom with a chirp for a whole year.
How is that possible?
Dude, I don't know. I say it out loud, and I don't know. It's not a goof. That happened. We just lived through
In
it
your bedroom?
We live different lives.
in the master bedroom.
I will say, I believe that all smoke detectors are designed with a photo sensor, so it knows when it's nighttime.
Right.
And that's the only
yes.
time it's allowed to warn you of the battery, because I can tell you honest truth. I've changed 15 to 20 batteries. I've never done it when daylight has been there. It has always been, and it always happens to be like a lot when our kids were little and it's in their room and I'm hauling a freaking ladder into the room while I'm hoping the kid stays asleep, and I'm climbing up this in pitch black hoping the kid stays asleep to change this
You
thing.
just got to let them learn how to live through it.
The problem is some of those smoke detectors,
It's like being in a McDonald's.
some of the smoke detectors you can't just take down. I learned this at a house because all our smoke detectors in the entire house were hardwired together, but they required all of them to have battery backups because the hardwire could go down. Therefore, you can't pull it off without setting off all the other alarms.
What? Yeah,
Because I tried to disconnect one, and the whole house went off in the middle of the night.
What?
Yeah, my current house, I dealt with that problem, and it caused me to actually change a battery.
Yeah,
I was like,
because you have no choice.
I got to fix this thing. This is unlivable,
He just-
and I can live through
He
a
shut
lot.
the power down to the house and went back to bed.
Right.
Mike, you are back on the clock. Jason took the crying baby and the smoke detector chirp. Very good picks. Mike, you have the custom exhaust on the car, and you're back on the clock.
All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna go with chewing.
Oh yeah.
Chewing.
I did think you might take this pick.
Chewing is annoying. It's disgusting. It is the worst sound that can be made.
Yeah. Chewing with your
It's-
mouth open.
Yeah, it's
It's awful.
why is it so bad?
This morning.
Why is it so bad?
This
Because
morning.
what you're doing is you're using these little ivory pieces in your mouth to break food down with a mixture of saliva to swallow. That's why it's
you
gross.
can hear the saliva
Yeah.
sticking and releasing
But
from
why?
surfaces.
You know, like
Why does it bother you?
Yeah, like nails on a chalkboard is like, okay, that reminds you of doing it. I can see that. That makes sense. But like chewing, it doesn't remind me of eating, which I'd be like, oh, that sounds
chewing.
great. I love eating.
The act of chewing is awesome.
Yeah, I like to chew
Just
my
chew
food.
respectably.
Yeah, this morning
why is
on
it
the drive
so
to school,
gross?
my eldest son was chewing gum, but he was smacking it.
Oh, man.
And
no.
I was like, those lips, if you have gum, those lips are shut. I don't want to hear you chew your gum. No, that's a great pick.
Okay, my next pick, I'm going to go with the car alarm. The car alarm that is going off, and nobody seems to figure out it's their car, and no one can stop it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it just seems like there should be some way for someone else to stop it. I feel like
And you always have to check if it's yours.
Are we not evolving past the car alarm phase of our society?
I think we are. I think now so many cars, you can
just can't-
check on your app where they are. You know what I mean? Like it's just
But they
kind of
don't.
got
Well, you think they install it just so you can find your car?
No, I'm just saying, if you have that, do you really need a car alarm?
I thought the car alarm was to stop someone from breaking in.
I guess I see it
It's
as stop
bit
someone
both.
from stealing your car. I
It's
guess they
both.
could break in and steal something
take your
out of your
stuff.
car.
Right.
But
You could stop them with that. Yeah.
But
But
no
like-
one's going to stop them.
No. Well, because the default is somebody left their alarm on. That's the default. Is you're like, oh, who's going to turn that off? Not is there somebody stealing it?
Also, here's the biggest problem with the car alarms. 1,280 out of 1,289 are false. There's
right.
no one
Yeah,
breaking
exactly.
in.
Exactly.
There's no one
right.
stealing your car.
Yeah, it's idiot with their loud car
It's
mufflers.
boy who
setting off
cries
car alarms.
wolf.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
boy who cries wolf. It's like every time that you hear a car alarm, it's like someone's got to go push a button.
You almost need the alarm to be like, it's really someone this time.
Right. Or just know when it's not someone and then don't cry wolf.
This is why I think we're just evolving past it. I think now newer cars you can't steal, right? As easily.
It's much more
Tell that to
difficult.
Nick Cage.
Oh, he
Well,
could steal it
he could steal
in
it,
60
yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, under.
Nails on a chalkboard, car alarm. My third pick here. I'm going to come back with snoring. I'm going to come back with
No.
snoring because
Yeah.
when it happens, and look, I'm only going to barely throw my wife under the bus here. My wife has
Barely is all it takes to kill you.
it is it's all a little bit under the bus is all the way under the bus, isn't it?
Yeah.
She is not like Jason, you are a regular snorer. When we long ago before you
If I don't have my CPAP, I
yeah.
will be chopping wood.
yeah, and Mike and I and you, we shared a hotel room a couple times, and it was like
Oh, man.
there's something to it. Like you're at peace, and you're causing like you're
Oh,
at
yeah.
complete
There is something funny about
you're
that.
at complete
yes.
peace while the other people are around you going, oh, please make it stop. And so my wife, I would say she slightly snores once every few months, and all it takes is a nudge, right?
Mhm.
But I can't sleep during a snore. It's impossible. So normally I'll do the like, you're snoring. You're snoring. And then she'll go, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's funny.
I don't think I've ever snored.
You're
But
snoring.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never heard myself snore.
yeah.
I spent years snoring, in bed and having that just had to be dealt with. And then I get a CPAP.
You've snored other places, too.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying once
That's what I was laughing at.
once I got my CPAP, I don't snore anymore. And now if the
She
wife
can't sleep
if
without
the-
your snoring?
If the wife snores, I am just aghast. It's just
Oh,
you know,
you're like offended?
well, it's just
is
like
it louder than – how loud is your CPAP machine? I'm not familiar.
oh, it's just a nice blowing air.
Nice the whoosh.
Oh, that's like
Those-
what you
they
want to go
used
to
be
sleep
really
with.
loud, right?
Maybe. I think it's a nice sound, honestly.
Says
It's-
the one wearing it.
No. Like she said it too.
Okay.
Like she
it's
likes,
a white noise
Yeah, it's
now?
like a little white noise.
Like if you have a
machine.
white noise machine, is there an option on there for CPAP?
yeah, or snoring.
Ooh.
It is terrible.
All right, back to Mike.
All right. We're going to go – oh, man. We're going to –
Having a hard
It's-
time over there.
It is. Because like this isn't a sound you hear all the time. It's just we understand how terrible it is because it sounds like death. It sounds like a creature may be suffering and needs to be put out of its misery. But it's beginner violin.
Oh, beginner.
Not frequent.
Yeah, that's
Beginner
what I'm saying. Like
violin.
I'm not saying that I hear it all the time, but when you do hear it, that's one of those where one of your eyes it shuts. You
Yeah.
can't stop it. Your head starts tilting. Your eyebrows go up.
If they play too long,
because
full aneurysm.
inside your body is like I need to get at something really bad is happening.
Would more people play violin if it wasn't for the beginner violin intimidation? But like the family, it's like the drums, right? Sometimes people don't buy drum kits. They're like, why don't you play?
They're really loud.
Why don't you play an electric guitar with these headphones on the on the amplifier? I wonder if that keeps people from like letting their kids play.
It could, but it's also now it's old fashioned. It's not cheap.
I just say
there's much cheaper instruments.
I just say go play,
I
go
also
learn in the
feel like-
backyard.
I also feel like very wrongly and for no reason, but it also feels like one of those instruments that is cut in half, like it's a girl instrument. Like violins are for girls, and so half the people already can't play it.
Like
It's
the flute.
Yeah, I would say I mean, at least growing up, it just felt like that. I don't know why. It's stupid.
If it was
I would love to play a violin.
It wasn't exclusive, but in our marching band, there was definitely like all the flautists were girls. Then the clarinets, a little bit more split. Then you get up to saxophone, like
yeah, okay.
You know,
You just made me so hungry for flautas. This is a nice chicken or beef flautas. Oh, yeah, let's go. That sounds
That's
delicious.
your takeaway.
That was my takeaway. What was you talking about? Some sour cream.
some fresh roasted clarinets. All right, Jason, you have 2 picks left.
Okay, I got 2 picks left. I got
don't even
They're
understand the
roasted.
I got
we
the
put
clarinets.
we put. All right, moving on.
All right. So my pick that I wanted the most because it drives me insane.
What's a clarinet player called? Do they have a different? Because a flute is I'm a
Oh,
flautist.
like a clarinet. A clarinet.
Are you a clarinet?
Nutter? A clarinetist?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is there a word for it?
What,
A
Jeremy?
clarinetist.
Clarinetist.
Clarinetist?
There you go.
That seems a little bit more
That
obvious.
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, then why are you
Pick
not
something.
why aren't you a flutist?
That I don't understand. I don't know why you're a flautist,
Oh, delicious.
but
All
I
right.
also don't know why you're a pianist. So
Fair. Yeah.
Piano.
Pianoist. Why isn't it a
Don't get the-
pianoist? Why is it
Yeah.
a pianist?
I think we just don't. We're not good at pronouncing that one. Jason, you are back on the
All right.
clock. For goodness sakes, pick something.
Okay, all right. Well, the pick that I wanted the most came back because it drives me insane, and I can't do anything about it. And I can't put it away. I can't forget about it. I can't not notice it and just move on. And
Like
this,
a smoke detector beep.
yeah, I can move on from that.
Yeah, apparently.
But this drives me crazy, and it's some people do it. Some people do it this way. It's teeth on a fork. When they bite the fork when they eat.
that little clip
that
sound?
clip and scratch.
Interesting.
It's just like nails on a chalkboard to me. The teeth scratching along the fork. Obviously, if you got plastic, whatever. I don't hear it. It's fine. But if you got silverware, if your teeth are biting the fork and
You notice
you're
that in
dragging,
people, do you?
I can't not notice it because
ever
it's
done it?
visceral. No. Well, I mean, I've
On
like,
accident.
Once I
Like
bit
an accidental
yes,
bite of a metal fork.
Yes,
That's a
I've-
bad experience.
It is
It
a
hurts.
terrible experience. But I don't do the additional scrape it out. People, you don't need to scrape the fork
That's
with
how
your
you
teeth.
get all the flavor.
No, sir. That's how you get all the silver.
Yeah, it's part of the experience.
Yeah,
I
we
like
need
I like a
minerals.
real aluminum pasta. Yeah, you don't need to eat like that. Please be aware of it. And
Yeah,
the
just learn to
problem
eat.
is, just learn to eat right. It's visceral. I'm not out there judging you. I'm not out there looking for it. If it happens near me, my body knows it, and I just like.
You ever turn to the neighboring table and go, "Did you just bite your fork?"
I've never said anything about
you
it
bite
ever
your fork at me, good sir.
to anyone. Thankfully, no one in my family does, or else they'd be out.
They'd be out of the family.
Yeah. What's your final pick? Crying
My-
baby, smoke detector chirp, teeth on a fork.
My final pick is the
Probably could have. Yeah. What?
the PTSD that comes from an alarm clock.
Yeah.
And it can be any alarm clock, whether it's the
Interesting.
old school one by the bed or whether it's the classic iPhone.
How
So
long?
even though
alarm.
you're a morning person,
I am but I see my alarm clock is just a gentle vibrating.
How often do you change your alarm sound?
I don't have an alarm sound. Like we don't have.
Okay, yeah.
no, but like the one
you
you're
have a-
talking about though.
The,
When you
like
used to-
for
when you
people who
used to
have an
have
alarm,
one.
never.
You've never had an alarm
You
sound?
ever
No,
used to
I'm
wake up
saying
to
I never
different-
changed
Oh.
it. I when I grew up, I had like the alarm clock that was doing the
Yeah, that's
classic.
the yeah.
And then once I got an iPhone for a decade or whatever, it was the whatever
Just
their
the default.
was. I
You
never
don't mix
changed
it up.
I never mixed
You never
it
go
up.
a song.
No,
wake
I
up
think
to
a
a
song
song.
would have been much better.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I haven't had an alarm clock sound in a long time now. So thankfully, I got that out of my life.
For me, it's no matter how peaceful a sound is when you're selecting. Like I had a one of those sunlight alarms, and it was you have a couple sounds you could pick from, and one of them's birds, real pleasant birds. And
Sounds nice to sleep with.
yeah, when you first hear it, you're like, it's great. The first couple times it wakes you up, but then eventually, even that peaceful sound, you're like, this thing is the worst.
It's waking
Associated
you
with
up.
Bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like
Yeah, it's
going
the
to
association.
you're going to bed with a bird gun now. You're waking up looking. I'm gonna get you. You're not waking me up
These
tomorrow.
birds wake me up every day. Mike, you have custom exhaust,
Yep.
chewing, and beginner violin. You're finishing it up with what?
So I don't think they do this as much in the new school, but they Josh could probably tell me if they are really doing it or not. But low health in a video game.
Interesting.
When you have low health in a video game and the thing comes in,
Very annoying sound. That it sounds old
Did you
school.
never? Yeah, did you never
No.
play
What?
NES games?
I
Like you
played-
never played a Zelda game?
I never played a Zelda game. No,
What?
I never. That was the one franchise I never played a single Zelda game.
Okay, well, that one specifically is the one I'm thinking of. As soon as you're down to like half a heart, the alarm goes on.
It never stops.
It never stops until you get more life, which is it's a
It's
weird
bad design.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, but it's newer, or they're trying to figure out how to make video games. But it's this weird thing like we got to make sure you know that your health is low, you're in danger, and then at the same time you're freaking me out. You're like because you won't stop with
Makes it
sound,
harder.
It's making it even worse. I am aware that I'm
I
about
want
to
to get
die.
my life back.
It's a high priority right now.
My final pick is an easy one.
Yeah, the sonic drowning. Oh man, this is just pure panic.
my final pick is going to be microphone feedback.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When
That's good stuff.
When someone messes up with the sound engineer messes up. Jeremy's back there. He screws something up, and the sound.
Or the performer points the microphone at the
always
monitor.
the sound engineer's fault, no matter what the performer does. The performer's awesome. Engineer.
Yeah, I agree with
Gotta
Andy.
be on top of that. But no, yeah, they point the microphone at the
You should
amplifier.
have planned for me to point the mic at the speaker.
If you've ever been around one where they really couldn't get it under control, that is pretty intense. So I had a lot of final picks that were really
Right.
close, like the fly or mosquito that buzzes your
Ah,
ear,
I've got that on my list.
off-key whistling. So if someone's walking around but
Oh.
they're not a good whistler,
Yeah.
if you're a good whistler, welcome in.
Mike,
Yeah.
you are welcome to whistle around me anytime you want.
And for
thank you.
Papa Josh, a final one that I had on my list, dogs barking at night.
I
Oh.
thought you were just going to say Papa Josh,
Also Papa Josh.
because that should be on all of our lists around here.
I had dogs licking themselves.
Oh man,
Which
when
is-
you can hear the
Yeah.
lick,
Oh, it's so bad.
it is the worst. It's very nasty. I'm surprised we didn't take like a cough. Coughs are so annoying when you've got that person, like you're in a movie theater or any venue, and you got the cougher, the one who just can't stop coughing.
Yeah, but I don't find the actual sound of a cough to be.
Yeah, it's more the constant cougher. I have a dentist drill. And for my boy, this is nails on a chalkboard for him. Styrofoam
Oh, the
rubbing
squeak?
together.
Yeah,
the squeak.
one of
He
my kids
can't-
has that
he
too.
cannot handle
That's
it.
not a good sound. Like nobody, maybe some people have the phobia, and it's worse. But I think everybody would agree that's not a great.
But
that's not a great sound.
so like the material that gives like the fake 3D effect. So based off of where
Oh yeah.
you look at, but so it's these tiny little rivets or whatever, and if you scratch it, it makes a very distinct sound. That's one of my kids. Like he will like attack you like a spider monkey if you don't stop.
It
He
turns
like he can't control it. He turns into just a monster that has to get away from the sound.
a buzzing light bulb.
Oh,
yeah,
Those
yeah, that's
are
terrible.
Awful.
Yeah.
No, not as often
Light
anymore.
bulbs should not make sound. They make light.
It's keep it straight.
Yeah.
You're not here to make sound.
You're not a sound bulb.
There's a restaurant.
You're a light bulb dummy.
There's a restaurant near here that we all like a little Hawaiian barbecue place.
Oh man, I totally forgot about that thing. Years.
It has been happening for years. How
Probably
is this
because they
bulb?
learned that some dude is like, hey, I don't care about my smoke detectors. I guess we can leave the light.
Oh man, that thing drives me nuts. I don't even want to go inside there, and they don't DoorDash. Come on, people.
We gotta go see if it's still there.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I had the fork on a plate, which is
sure,
you know
very
different than
similar,
buying
very
it with a
When you
fork,
cut
but-
on the plate.
What did we learn today?
I learned that crocodiles can climb trees. That blew my mind.
They do seem like an apex predator when you look at all the things that they can do.
You also learn that they can move both sides of their jaw at the same time.
I'm not sure I learned that. That will go away quickly.
The crocodile's speed, it can chase you down no matter where you're at. That's what I learned today.
And I learned Jason can make up 15 minutes of a drive of a 30-minute drive somehow.
and he has a really passionate love of flautas.
Oh, they're so good.
To be fair, they're delicious.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Spitballers podcast. To see what other nonsense the guys are up to, check out SpitballersPod.com.